Black Ring Cloud Force.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing as we always do. Remember our servicemen and women. Thank you. I don't think there's anyone here from the Board of Ed. No. They had asked to be on the agenda. If they come in, we'll put them on the agenda. Public comment on agenda items. Okay. First item is to approve minutes that were written before you. The meeting was held on this July the 17th, 2017. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Murphy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have our annual renewal agreement for our IT service. It's gone up $5. We've had this company since 2008, 6, Gina?
Before that even.
Before that even.
Yeah, I can't, I don't.
Okay, so
even
we've had them quite a while. I know the office is happy with them. Chief, police department? Good, okay. Any questions? Who signs this, Gina?
The purchasing clerk can, or
Okay.
you can,
Okay.
whoever you give permission to.
To the clerk, purchasing clerk? So if you're okay, if we could have a motion that we sign the annual renewal with Firth Cliff. They're out of Cornwall. Fred Lewis, we hear that name a lot, and have the purchasing clerk sign the agreement.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustees Livesey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. All right, next, you have three quotes for the air conditioner downstairs, which hasn't been working at all. You'll see the quotes there. Now, what's happened since this was put on the agenda is our engineer would like to send down his mechanical engineer tomorrow and look at our system here and next door. Chief, he'll also go next door to look at yours. Yours is working on and off.
Much better than
On and off. Downstairs it's not working at all. And, you know, I want to say to the clerk, if she would tell the ladies that work downstairs, it was horrible last week. All that hot weather we had was not pretty downstairs. So we know, this board knows we have to fix this. And the other side, the police station side. But what I would ask you is to give it one more day and let the mechanical engineer come down from our engineering firm and look at our system and look at these bids. He was given these three bids today to look at. So I would ask that it be tabled if you feel that, if you're okay with that. Now, we might have to have a special meeting after we hear what the mechanical engineer says. He might be fine with these bids, I'm not sure. It's just that it's out of my, it's out of my knowledge as to if, you know, we're getting something that we should get as a replacement or not. So that's my recommendation, that we table it for just, not for long. Thank God this week is a little cooler. It was okay, it was much better today. So it's, whatever you want to do.
I'll make a motion on the table.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Second.
Motion by trustee Livesey, second by trustee Albert, that we table this for the shortest time that we can. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have property maintenance again. It seems like we have them every meeting. So, public hearing on this, correct, Gina? And so we'll open up the public hearing at this time. And I would ask, is there anyone here from 117 Center, 69 Schneider, or 36 Tobin's? 36 Tobin's, 69 Schneider, 117 Center. Okay. So you'll see the overgrowth at 117 Center. Overgrowth at 69 Schneider. And rear yard severely overgrown, 36 Tobin's. Monkeys together. So I'll read a notice, and they'll all be the same notice. Notice of violation in order to remedy, and notice of hearing. Today's date, 3 addresses, 117 Center, 36 Tobin's, and 69 Schneider.
Just for curiosity, the past property violations, so have we collected the expense for that?
I don't believe so yet, no.
And how long does that take?
Typically, we don't, I mean, we send out the invoices, they don't get paid, and they get re-levied on the next village tax bill. So it's quite a while before we get the recovery of the money, but we do.
County roads.
And how long does it take before we get out there to take care of the properties?
Once you pass them, the billing department's notified immediately, and they immediately contact with the lowest bidder to go out and cut the grass, and the process starts. They go out immediately.
And what's the usual fine for that?
Well, it's the cost of the grass cutting itself, and then we add an additional $200 administration fee on top of it.
I honestly think that there should be more.
Yeah.
Well, you have to deal with that in a different manner
Yeah.
to
Well, I
increase your
understand.
fees, but
Yeah, we've talked about that, increasing the fines on a couple of different codes that we have, this being one of them. So, I'm put a couple trustees and we'll come up with a new figure. We know it's not enough. It's something that you have to deal with for a year. It could be as long as a year,
yes.
and that's not right. So,
May I just come to Justin Mark?
no, I gotta continue this the way it is. But
I'll talk to you.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you're saying.
So, Gina, quick question, and you might not have the answer. The one property owner lives in Florida, and I believe Irene sets the postings for these, and she checked marked other. So, should I ask Irene, or do you know the answer? Did she send it to Florida to let them know?
The building department, either Bruce or Kim are the one who do the notices.
Okay.
And physically mark, if you see Kim's, the posting signature is Kim's, I believe,
Okay,
who did these, so that's who you would speak to.
okay. Thank you.
And they do show that there's certified mail return receipts that they were mailed to those locations, to the property owner's current address as we have it on record.
Okay, so let me go through one of these and it'll pertain to all three. Whereas a long-standing violation of the village property law, maintenance law, chapter 170 of the Village of Highland Falls Code has existed at 117 Center, 69 Schneider, and 36 Tobin's Lane. Whereas the property owner or owners have been given due notice of said violations and have been directed to correct the violations. And whereas the property owner or owners were given due notice of a public hearing to be held by the Board of Trustees today, August the 7th, 2017, at 7 p.m. to determine whether the violations have been properly remedied and whether to order that corrective action be undertaken by the village to correct said violations at the property owner's cost and expense, to bill said cost and expense to the property owner, and to levy same against the property. And whereas a public hearing was duly held by the Board of Trustees on August the 7th, 2017 at 7 p.m. And whereas the owner or owners did not appear. And whereas the owner or owners have not taken steps to correct the violations and the violations still exist. And whereas the Board of Trustees authorized pursuant to section 170-6 of the Property Maintenance Law to authorize that the village undertake to remedy such violations of the properties at the property's owner's cost and expense. Now therefore, be it resolved that the village, its contractors or agents shall enter upon the property to correct the violations, and that all costs incurred by the village, including administrative, legal, and corrective costs, be charged to the property owner, and such charge shall be added to the tax bill of the property owner if not paid within 30 days of the notification to the last known address of the property owner as shown on the village tax records. Any questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Murphy, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Allard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
I would just note that the village does have recourse to go to court, local court, and assess penalties and judgment. So when you have that in the code, you might ask the legal department if they've ever considered doing that. It is multiple violations.
But, do we, well, if we change the code, we could escalate the charges.
There's already escalation. I can draft a quick note.
Over and above our 200, you're saying? Okay.
And there's another one that I need to talk to you about also for derelict cars.
Probably, but in the meantime, I'll draft just a quick note to the board in terms of what the remedies are.
Thank you.
Actually, is there an abandoned vehicle?
We have one, but now the issue is becoming that a tow company doesn't want to take the vehicle out to their property as storage because they don't know,
Who's it is?
well, not only not who it is, are they gonna get paid?
Well, good point.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda is an event, Chalk Fest, September the 9th, September the 16th, Municipal Lot number 2, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have the request in front of you, insurance in the chamber. Jeannie, you okay? So this is a fun day event for kids, and we could approve it.
So I'll make a motion on this, and being an artiste myself, I think this is a great event.
You're an artiste?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
He's here for a masterpiece.
What do you artiste with?
I'll tell you what,
I mean, oils or
chalk
chalk?
and pencil. You see my post on Facebook?
I'll certainly go home and look for it. I see a lot of things on Facebook, but I haven't seen your artiste yet.
I bet.
Okay, motion by our artist on the board, Mr. Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by our fisherman on the board, among other things. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next, our meeting on Monday, September 4th is Labor Day. So if we could move it to the following night, Tuesday, September the 5th, 7 PM, it would be good. Need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Murphy, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Bills and claims we have here for fiscal year 17-18 for $126,789.80. If we got a motion to pay bills and claims.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Murphy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I reach over? Oh, here,
Though our quarterly tax to MTA, our payroll tax to Metropolitan Transit, that only less than 1% of our population
It just
uses.
came in.
It's double taxation on our payroll,
Oh, okay.
and it's really unjust, and it's still going on.
Okay, next on the agenda is an item that came in late today, for which items can be put on at any time. This is a resolution, Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees resolution approving the modification to the disciplinary settlement agreement dated the 10th of February 2017 with Kenneth Scott. Because it was not on the agenda, if anyone has any questions, do you want me to read? I'll read this first, and then I will take questions. Okay. Whereas Kenneth Scott was served with a notice of discipline on the 3rd of January 2017, an amended notice of discipline on the 26th of January 2017. And whereas Kenneth Scott interposed answers to both notices of discipline in which he denied the allegations and raised certain affirmative defenses. And whereas Kenneth Scott and the Village of Highland Falls reached a resolution of issues raised in the notice of discipline, and such resolution was reduced to writing, and a disciplinary settlement agreement dated February 10th, 2017 was signed by both parties. And whereas the disciplinary settlement agreement was accepted by the Village Board of the Village of Highland Falls at a meeting of the Village Board held on or about February 21, 2017. And whereas by resolution dated June 19, 2017, the Board of Trustees identified certain modifications to be made to the disciplinary settlement agreement and directed its labor attorney to revise said agreement accordingly. And whereas the modified disciplinary settlement agreement was prepared and circulated to the Board of Trustees, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees finds and determines that the modified disciplinary settlement agreement accurately reflects the proposed modification identified in the June 19, 2017 resolution. Be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to sign the modified disciplinary settlement agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A, after said agreement has been executed by Kenneth Scott. We have further resolved that the modified disciplinary settlement agreement shall, if executed by Kenneth Scott and the mayor, become effective as set forth in the agreement. So the only, as a majority of the board indicated on June 19th, voted actually, I guess, the only change in the agreement is the modification of the retirement date.
Since this is on the agenda, are we gonna be able to speak?
I said that before I read this.
You didn't actually come to the public, right? So we can.
Does anyone have any comments? Yes.
Patrick Flynn, I would just ask that the entire board, to know that the entire board is actually the official charges, not what was on Facebook, not what was passed around, before making a very important decision on this. And the second piece to this is that Dan Rickey, who has served the community very well, and the police department, that a discussion be held with him on why this was even done, so that you have a better understanding, you have an informed choice to make, rather than just feelings and thoughts. That's all.
Any other comments? Yes. Yeah.
Kathy Patio, building president. I actually was wondering whether or not the board is aware of the fact that due to the last vote, which I believe was June 19th, if this board is aware that it's actually under investigation by the state.
Thank you. Anything else? Any other comments? Yes.
Martha Ulrich. The last vote, if I remember correctly, was voted on by Mr. Reyes, who's a relative of the police chief. This voting, if he were to get back in, it does have financial benefit to the chief, who is a family member. So I don't know that his vote should be considered.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say, I'm not ready to vote on this at all. So, you all can do whatever you want to do, but just give it to me, not even 5 minutes.
This settlement agreement that's fine, Mark. This settlement agreement has been batted around for weeks now, and not one word. Anyone can take this one that I have, and maybe something they have, or other ones that are earlier than this, and not one single change has been made except for the retirement date. Not the probation, there's been nothing changed except there's paragraphs in here that protect the village according to Brian Goldberger. Actually, Brian Goldberger did this, right, Elise, he did this.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. According to the June 19th meeting. So that's where that's at. Okay.
I just don't understand, why is it that after the meeting we had with the attorney and Brian Goldberg, and we were talking about the agreement, since today, in between that time, why hasn't anything ever been brought to the attention of, this is what we're going to do, this is what the modification is going to be? And I've asked, and all of the above.
Merv, I have asked, I believe through emails and in person, if anyone had any changes or deletions, or even if it did,
That's
let me
correct.
just finish, and additions. And through an email, I'm not sure anyone responded. I know I didn't hear anything from Mr. Albert.
No, but you did.
No, not through an email.
Not through email,
No.
verbally.
Because I tried to find you so I could get an answer from you. Charlie, I had caught you downstairs and asked you, and that's how you gave me your answer, no changes. And Jimmy, you answered me back through an email. There were some other comments made about this agreement, but they were all, what word can I use, at least? They were given to Brian Goldberger, but he had said to me that they were in there for certain reasons. I asked them what they were for, protection of the village, and I said, then let them stay. That's how that conversation went down. So, this is not new,
Well,
but,
this-
well, wait.
Wait.
Oh, well, wait. Okay. We'll table, if the board wishes to table this, we can table it. Does the board wish to table this?
I do.
Don't say so. You want to table it?
I've already said it on my.
No, you didn't. Do you want to table it?
Yes, table.
All right, tabled by Mr. Livesey. Is there a second? Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Table one?
Yeah.
Aye.
You guys made the motion, can you say aye?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Did I do those? I did those.
No.
I didn't? I thought I said this number. Okay, next on the agenda is bills and claims for $126,789.80.
We already did those.
We did that one. I thought so.
You can keep
I thought, okay. All right, few things. Been approached by Philip Galoo, who has property over in Saddle Grove, that he would like to park up to 10 school buses on his property. I told him I would bring it up here tonight. So that's that.
Are they school buses that are gonna be used for a purpose? Or-
Well, some of them are used daily, some are not, you know, depends on, I would say most go out every day.
Mr. Mayor?
Hmm?
So, our attorney was previously the planning board attorney for the village. She can give us some enlightenment on this. Parking school buses on a residential property, is that an allowed use?
I would have to look at the zone, typically no.
It could be pre-existing commercial, could be.
I'm not sure, I can't answer that right off the top of my head. I'd have to check if it's the same property that was before for another purpose. I'm somewhat familiar with that property. Are parking lots allowed in the zone? That's the first question, yes or no? If yes, are there any other provisions that would prohibit that type of parking?
I only asked the question because when the old guard was before the planning board, the property next door, they wanted to put just parking on it. And they weren't allowed to do that.
Because it wasn't allowed in the zone, that's exactly right.
Correct. So that's why I asked the question. Thank you.
If he's asking for a change of zone, that's a different question. So, you might want to, has he made an application to anybody? He needs to go to the planning board no matter what. And they should then give him his, what can be done on the property, does he need a variance, etc. Same procedure he went through, or didn't go through. when he was
This is
before
a different,
the village.
this is the different blue, right? This is, which one was this? It's food. So the property that you're referring to is his brother
Mhm.
for the subdivision. And Fu has the property next door to it. So there's two different
I
ones.
think it's in the same zone though.
Oh, it's definitely in the same
Yeah,
zone,
so I
yeah.
don't think, again, it should go to the planning board for determination, but if you want me to take a look at it, I'd be happy to do that and give this board a response on whether or not it's even allowed based on what we know at this point, which is parking buses.
Yes.
I believe it's in Osborne, right? I'm looking at that correctly.
Well, trustee Ramus, if you want to give me the particulars, I
Okay.
can get back to you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So, we're still dealing with goose droppings. The Old Guard Hotel Developers Agreement has been sent. Wednesday, I'm meeting with our engineer and the two FEMA jobs that we have open, Brooks, the Brook Wall and Havens Road. The board needs to come up with a date so that the five of us, along with our engineer and Gary Boyce, can meet at 65 Schneider Avenue to look at that situation. The funding application was, we gave the LA Group permission to do for the next phase of the Highland Falls Marina was submitted, filed on the 27th of July. Street paving has begun, long overdue. The water tanks are done, they look great. We're gonna have to look at that area about taking some more trees down. Met on site for where the electric charger for cars is going to go, which is the north end of parking lot number 2. This is the application for the waterfront property. Havens Road, the brick wall. Thank you for the work you did with the Old Guard Hotel agreement. And you can take the phone calls. They're coming. Okay, so maybe the last thing I have is what I started at the last meeting. You know, we hear the negative, but we never hear the positive. So the list for tonight tells us that we had National Night Out, which was a total success. This weekend is Rotary's 5K race over the Old Storm King. There's free trips to Long Pond. There's a trip to the American Museum of Natural History on August the 14th. Another local author, George Dapper, there will be a reception for his book on the 15th of August at the library at 7 p.m. The village wants to welcome 1,243 new cadets, plebes, and we want to welcome 250 new prep school enrollees. Today was at the library, the balloon lady was there. Were you there, Mary Jane, for the balloon lady? You know, the library has so many, it's even hard to keep up with it. So many events there, things for kids to do, things for adults to do. It's actually amazing. And they're going to be, they might get now, the local art, is there local art? Do you know, Martha? Is that hanging now, or it's going to be?
There are things hanging in the
From local
library now,
artists.
and there will be on Sunday at the farmer's market.
Great. O'Neill High School football team, they have a car wash this Sunday down at the Walk Hill Valley Bank, the old Holland Falls Savings and Loan. Their first game is September the 9th at 6:30. This weekend, this Friday night, is the second performance by a local band of young folks. Their name is Falling High, at 6 p.m. at Memorial Park. That's this Friday. And then there's a community yard sale sponsored by the center next weekend on the 19th, 9 to 3. So some events have happened, some are going to happen. Okay, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, when the mayor stated I didn't do the email is absolutely correct. We had the conversation, he did ask me, do I have modifications? I said no, I keep my vote the same way as last time.
That's correct. Anything else?
Nope.
Mr. Moore?
I was just wondering, with the planning board, what's happening with that? What are we supposed to be,
I believe you have an open seat to,
Right.
yes, you are.
We'll take that up maybe at the next meeting.
Should we have a call for interested people?
We'll put Gina, put something in the paper.
I'm just curious about that.
Hey, Charlie?
Well, we actually have discussed the items that I had. I do want to remind people who have unregistered cars, even if they're on private property, they are supposed to be undercover. The building department feels that that means in a garage. I think you might have some wiggle room under a car cover, but at any rate, we are taking some more serious action to increase the fines for having these vehicles and other disincentives, because apparently there are 2 properties where there have been complaints about multiple derelict cars, and something has to be done about them.
Thank you. Jim?
Yeah, so it was stated that I shouldn't be allowed to vote. So based on some attorney information, everyone knows, and it was stated that, you know, Ken is my brother-in-law in marriage. And I can truly say, with clear conscience to the public out there, honestly say to them that any decision that I have made is objective and without influence, and that I have no financial benefit from any vote that I make.
No, but he does.
Okay, thank you. Public comment? Yes.
I'm Laura Milsom, 105 Center Street. Trustee Murph, just in response to your question about how long it takes for property issues to be addressed, they come very quickly once it's been decided that they're in violation again. But the process between repeat offenders, that, you know, it takes about 3 weeks, 3 weeks to a month. So I live right next door to, well, actually right behind 117. And so right now it's about up to here. So it grows very quickly, obviously, you know, at this time, but it takes about 3 to 4 weeks with the property issues that involve the grass. The other thing that I don't know if everybody's aware of, it is against our village code to park a vehicle on your grass. So in addition to unregistered vehicles, we also have a lot of vehicles that park on the grass. It tears up the lawns, and then when it rains, all of the mud ends up in our sewer system. So just if you are not aware, parking on the grass is not allowed. And that's, thank you.
Very right. Yes.
I actually have a question. Who's the police commissioner? Anybody?
Technically, it could be the whole board, or it's Mr. Lipson.
Okay.
But this is public comment, so do you have,
No,
what's your
because
comment?
because I want to speak with the, and so that's why I asked that question. But as far as Mr. Ramus is about him not gaining financially, that has nothing to do with it. It's about whether or not Mr. Scott would gain financially, and in fact, he would. And the State Board of Ethics actually feels that it is a violation for that reason, that he would in fact gain financially. I'm just letting you know.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Good evening, my name is Bonnie Snow. I live at 41 Fort Putnam Street, Highland Falls, New York. I don't speak for any group, I speak for the old and young at heart. First, I want to congratulate all of you. I work a lot, and between working and riding, I haven't spoken really with any of you. You're a very eclectic group, and I can't help but think that your eclecticness will bring good things. You have formed many committees, and that's a good thing. I want to speak about one thing that I've heard, that Christmas. I've heard that only greens are going to be used, and I'm glad to hear you shake your head, because Christmas, you know, more is better, and after more is better, even more is better, and then even more is better. And it's not a time for ego, and it's not a time, I did ask one of the ladies from the new group to speak with the lady from the old group, but I think I must be stupid because that never, I must be very naive because that just doesn't happen. But it's not, Christmas is not a time for ego, it's not a time for I'm better than you are and this and that. It's a time for using all the resources that we have, because the kids love it all. And this is you know, I went to a concert at West Point, and I haven't been to a concert since I moved here. And it reminded me of the reason I moved here. And one of the reasons that I moved here is that you celebrate everything. And that's really important, and I think sometimes smallness of mind and shades around your eyes get in the way, and I'm really glad to hear you shake your head, because now I know that everything will be used. And thank you very much.
I will say this to you, the beautification committee that maybe you had spoken to, sounds like you did. The good news is that they're already meeting about Christmas, about the holiday season. About putting a tremendous amount of more lights up. Meeting with a professional company that actually does it.
I only ask that they speak with the other group, and that everybody work together.
Yeah.
And everybody use their resources, because the old has a whole lot of stuff, and the new is gonna have a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, and that is happening,
I'm glad.
okay? So you're gonna see a lot this year,
Okay.
and then we're gonna build on it.
Okay, thank you.
And you're welcome. Yes,
Just my comment is to remind the board about the Burns Avenue project. That was still $300,000, and we're hoping not to lose more of that. And that the other project that the state has already said they will come in and help, and it was supposed to be this spring and summer, is above Burns Avenue, and that is the drainage coming off of 9W that is destroying the backyards of Burns Avenue. That's what's causing the whole problem, why the main issue on the south end of Burns Avenue. So I hope somebody is still talking to the state and making sure that $300,000 that's left over is still there. And the other piece is at the bottom of Mountain Avenue, that again, we talked to the state, and they said they were kind of come in for an emergency fix. I do see that there is a horse there now, and some cones, and that is where the ground is eroding into the stream, which is actually not, I was told, part of the FEMA project. FEMA project is more along the, following the Mountain Avenue way. That's more the FEMA project, so this is around the bend, different project. They were supposed to come in and fix that because it's eroding right up onto the road. So I would ask that that be followed up on so that we don't have a bigger issue.
Mr. Flynn, you don't need to worry at all about Mearns Avenue or the hole that you're referring to over on West Point Highway. It's on the top of the list. And as far as the $300,000, you're talking about Sue Kelly money?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I had a meeting with Mr. Skoufis less than 2 months ago, and I had told him of my displeasure of almost, I think it was $58,000 we had lost of the Sue Kelly money, because there was a meeting with the state that you, the village, did not attend. Only three you know what, you gotta take your hat off.
Joe?
No, that's, no.
You can't talk to me like that.
Yeah,
You're-
excuse me,
the money's going on 6.
excuse me.
You had
You're not gonna do
6
this.
years
You're not
to
going
spend
to
it.
do
You
this
did.
at this meeting.
You
You're not
lost
gonna do this.
$200,000.
You're not gonna do this at this
You.
meeting. So 3 municipalities that had this FEMA money going way back attended. They're the only ones that didn't lose the money. Our money went for a pedestrian walkway in Port Jervis, which I find just amazing. So we lost money. But we're on the Mearns Avenue, the drainage, the paving, and anything else that has to be done up there, and especially or is equally to the situation on West Point Highway. Thank you. Is there any? Yeah. You get 2 shots. This is.
Now, you mentioned beautification. Driving through the village the other day, almost all except one of the planters, I'm not part of that group.
The hanging baskets.
All the hanging baskets.
Yeah, we talked about this.
There's one that can be saved down by the Mexican restaurant, but
Yeah.
it's.
It's the beautification committee. We're trying to figure out why, and everyone has a different suggestion. But
They're hard because, if it was something people could reach, anybody.
well, no,
who
we
lived
have a wand that reaches. They water
Yeah.
those as equally as they
Yeah,
do the
but-
ones on the sidewalk. That's what's throwing us
The
off.
sidewalk ones
Same
are
flower.
beautiful.
Same
They're
flower.
Yeah, I know, and I know from,
Yeah.
in this weather, they gotta be watered almost every day, because they
Yeah.
dry out so quick.
Yeah,
And it's a shame because they're beautiful.
beautiful. Thank you. Is there anything else? Okay, if not, I'll take a motion to go into executive session. We have several things. We have interviews, we have personnel issues. What else we have? A grievance that's being handled. And union contracts. So I'll take a motion, please.
Motion to go into exec.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. Now,